What is that, my butter biscuits? Y'all do not mind my busted old potato head. I normally have on a beanie and I normally have on foundation when I'm about to do an eyeshadow palette review. However, today's a little bit warm, so I was like, let me do my eyes first and then foundation, then throw on my beanie and all that good stuff. As you guys can tell by the title of today's video, I'm going to be reviewing the brand new Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palette. I'm gonna tell you guys like straight off the bat, I probably have every single one of these shades already, between like a Huda Beauty palette, a Huda Beauty palette and a Pat McGrath palette. I'm sure I have every single one of these shades. However, I just really wanted to try Patrick Ta. I've never tried any of his products before, and I hear nothing but amazing things. Y'all know for the longest time I was trying to get my hands on the bronzer and contour palette, and I'm just like, I can't find the thing nowhere. It's like sold out, y'all, for like literally months now. I'm talking like at least over 3 months. It's sold out, so I'm like, I don't know what's going on with that product, but I really want to try it. Anyways, y'all, this is the rose colored theme one right here, and I have to say that this palette is super beautiful, but it is pretty pricey. This retails for $68. This is what it looks like right here. I feel like it is a really, I'm holding it upside down, really pretty palette, and it does have a nice plastic to it. Y'all know recently I did a Hin Dash palette review, and within that video I was like, oh, I love the palette so much, but I feel like the packaging is so cheap for $70. Yes, I know to so many people out there, they really could care less about the packaging. I'm not one of those people, because I will keep it real with you guys. I am a little bit careless, y'all. And sometimes I have a habit of like throwing things around and like leaving things a little bit unorganized. So therefore things tend to get a little bit more messed up. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like when you have like a paperback type of palette, it tends to break at the seams a little bit faster than a plastic like this. So I do like the packaging of this. It is nice, but it's not as like heavy as Pat McGrath, but obviously we know that is $128 for a palette, so yeah. This is what the inside of this palette looks like. There's 10 eyeshadows and 2 cream bases. I'm gonna try to utilize as many products as possible, or as many shadows as possible within today's video. Y'all, I am going to be doing a halo eye. It has been like such a hot minute since I've done a halo eye. Y'all know I always love a like winged out cut crease. That's just my thing. I feel like it looks best on my eye shape, but I'm gonna switch it up today and do a halo eye. So we'll see how that goes. So if you guys are interested in that, of course, go ahead and keep on watching. Make sure you guys follow me over on TikTok, y'all. I'm just having a blast over there. Recently, I just like really love TikTok, even though like for the longest time I felt like I was too old, but then now I'm like, I really love it, you know. Anyways, go follow me over there and let's go and get into this review. So here's the palette right here. This retails for $68, and it is in a plastic component, which y'all know that I really do like. Recently I just did a review of the Hin Dash Monochromance palette, which, oh, if you guys have not seen my review of this, y'all, this palette was so good. I went out and picked up the Beautopsy. I literally was just so obsessed with that formula. Like, honestly, y'all, I have used that palette 3 times since doing that review, and I'm just like still shooketh by the formula. The most amazing formula I have ever used for a matte eyeshadow, as well as for the face too. It's just so beautiful. But my one complaint was the packaging. I feel like this packaging is just so extremely cheap. The texture on it is just horrible, because it does grip to any type of, you know, powders or creams, and just already looks dirty, you know what I'm saying, after only using it 4 times. This palette right here does have a plastic to it, but it does have a chrome finish, so it does look a little bit messy, you know what I'm saying. I know so many people don't complain about the packaging, but I do. I feel like that's something that I really look out for, especially too given my workspace, y'all. I'm like literally working in the garage, so everything's kind of disorganized and kind of a little bit messy. So I do like a harder component, because I do feel like it keeps things more protected, especially when it comes to travel. I do feel like a palette like this is super sleek, so it's super easy to just squeeze into something, but then also too, I feel like it's not really protected, as to where this is a hard plastic. It's not as hard as Pat McGrath, y'all, but I kind of like that, because Pat McGrath is like really heavy. Anyways, y'all, let me not ramble about the packaging, because I know y'all always say who cares about it. But this is the inside of the palette right here. I feel like it is a super beautiful color story. This has 5 matte eyeshadows and 5 shimmers, which I'm so intrigued to swatch some of these shimmers, because honestly, looking at them in the pan, they look like they would be exactly like the Huda Beauty shimmers, which y'all know I really do like her shimmers. But I'm gonna go ahead and say this: if this is like the same type of formulation as Huda Beauty, I will be a little bit disappointed. I am expecting a little bit more, and the reason for that is because y'all know that I always rave about Namies. If you guys are any type of like cosmetic professional, whether it be in hair, makeup, you guys can get a discount at Namies, and Huda Beauty has 40% off. So although her palettes are around the same price as this, I do believe, I don't remember the exact price, but this is $68, and you would get 40% off if it was Huda Beauty. You know what I'm saying? So I will say I'm expecting a little bit more out of these, but I will say, judging by in the pan, it does look like a Huda Beauty shimmer. I'm just gonna go ahead and swatch just a couple of the shimmers right here, so that way you guys can like see them, because I won't be using, you know what, that shade right there is super beautiful. But let's see how much shimmer comes out on this. Oh wow, that shade is beautiful. Like, can you guys see? Oh yeah, see the shimmer right there? Okay, maybe this does have a little bit more shimmer than a Huda Beauty, which is great because y'all, honestly, I'm like, if it's the same as Huda Beauty, I will be a little bit let down. This is that first shade right here. This one, this like goldeny shade. This looks super beautiful, but it doesn't look as pigmented as the other. It is, oh yeah, it is super beautiful though. You know what? His shimmers look like they're wet, which I really, really like. They're like super, super reflective. They're not as shimmery as a Pat McGrath, but they do definitely have a lot of sparkle. I'm just going to go ahead and swatch one more, which is going to be this violet shade right here. Because I won't be using that. This one doesn't seem like it has a lot of shimmer in it. It's a little bit more frosty, but let's go ahead and see that. Oh yeah, that's a super pretty shade. Honestly, these feel like butter. They're like really, really soft. You guys can see right there that that deeper cranberry shade actually doesn't have as much shimmer as the other two. It is a little bit more of a frosty shade. I'm going to go ahead and prime my eye, and then I'm going to zoom you guys in to get into the review, so I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm dumb, and I like didn't prime my eye because I forgot that I'm going to be using the bases in the palette. Also, I went to go wash off my hand, and I definitely will say his shimmers have way more shimmer, like way more finely milled shimmer than a Huda Beauty's. I really do like Huda Beauty's formula as well too. However, it is a little bit more of like a frosty shimmer, you know what I'm saying? This was like really, really sparkly, especially this shade in the middle. Honestly, y'all, I just kind of got a little bit tempted to use it, but it's not the vibes that I'm going for. I will definitely do another look using this palette and try that shade out because y'all, it has the most beautiful orange shimmer to it. So what I'm going to be doing right now is actually starting off with this darker cream base. I am so nervous to use this, y'all. I'm going to keep it real. I just really find that like bases that are built into palettes normally are not really good. I feel like I've been let down too much. So let's go ahead and see. I'm taking this small little brush right here. This is from the Makeup Institute. This is the PG16. I'm going to be starting this darker shade in the outer corner because I am going for a halo eye. So I'm going to be building this up in the inner and outer corner and then taking it up into the crease. Okay, I will say that's super pigmented. Y'all saw there's just a little bit on my brush and that is already like shablam on my eye. Oh my gosh. Well, that's off to a good start. I just hope it blends out well. So that blended out super easy in the outer corner. So now I'm just taking it in the inner corner to build that halo eye. Don't pay attention to how messy it's going to look. Just keep in mind that this is the base. So I'm just taking it kind of sloppy and then I'm going to build on top of it. The same brush, I'm going to be going in with the lighter base, just taking this a little bit more in the crease. I will say these are super creamy. I almost feel like I could use them as like a lipstick. They're that type of texture, but so far I'm really liking the way that they blend out. They're like super easy to use. I was really scared at first. I was like, oh, what if they come on too harsh and then you can't blend them out? But they blend out really nicely. The base looks super messy, but don't worry, we're going to build on top of it. I'm going to be taking this shade right here, which is the second to lightest shade in the palette. I'm taking this on a Lunar Beauty LBE2 brush. When I press into the palette, there's really not too much kickback on these either. Maybe this is like the new thing now. I'm like used to like older shadows that have a crap ton of kickback because when I did the Hindash review, I was like shook at how there's like absolutely no kickback whatsoever. There is more in this, but not as much as like, say for example, like a Huda Beauty palette. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, this shade is really pretty. These colors lay down super smooth. I feel like that blended out super easy. I don't know if it's because of the base. I will definitely say this though about the bases. They did work good, don't get me wrong, but they do kind of blend out to almost nothing. Like I feel like if I would have blended just a little bit more, it would have completely disappeared, which I don't necessarily think is like too much of a bad thing. I'd rather have it blend away completely than it be too harsh to where it doesn't blend out. You get what I'm saying? I'm going to be going in with the lightest shade right here to soften up these edges, but I'm actually going to be mixing it with that crease shade on a P. Louise. What is this? 182 brush. I'm going to be mixing those two kind of like on my hand to create a little bit of a transition shade, you know what I'm saying? And then I'm just going to be taking that right up here to soften these edges. So this is what the eye looks like right now. I do have to say that these blend out so extremely easy, like super, super easy. And I feel like they look absolutely beautiful. I'm going to be deeping it up right now to make it a little bit more dramatic. But just in case you guys are worried about this, there is a lot of kickback on the lighter shade. I don't know if, oh yeah, you guys can see it right there. Honestly, y'all, to me, I've always said like it really doesn't matter because honestly, I haven't touched pan on an eyeshadow palette in years, like literally, like at least over the past 5 years, you know what I'm saying? Because I just have so many eyeshadow palettes, so a little kickback doesn't bother me. But just in case you guys are interested in hearing about that, that does have kickback. So now what I'm going to be doing is taking a P. Louise 112 brush, and I'm going to be taking these two darker shades right here and actually mixing them, and I'm going to be taking that on the inner corner and the outer corner just to deepen up this look a little bit more, and then we'll go in with the shimmer. So let's see how these, oh yeah, these ones, or maybe it depends upon the brush, honestly. These do have a little bit more kickback. So I'm going to be taking this just right here and then focusing it going up. So now I'm going to go in with the shimmer. I'm thinking about mixing these two right here. It's really weird. I was looking in the viewfinder and they actually look like kind of different in the viewfinder. However, in person they look like the same. It's so weird. I almost feel like one has a pink base with golden shimmer and then one has a gold base with pink shimmer. Do you know what I mean? So they kind of look similar, but I'm gonna go ahead and just try this one right here, which I feel like has a little bit more gold in it, which it looks more pink on the viewfinder. It's so weird. I don't know, but let's go ahead and see how it comes out. I wonder how this will be with the brush. Oh, it's not picking up with the brush, so I'm gonna try with my finger. Honestly, the problem with me is, and when shimmer needs like a finger to apply, I have such a small space and such a big finger. Like my finger is literally, it like covers my whole eye, you know what I'm saying? It was not picking up on the brush at all. But let me go ahead and just like slap this in the center. Okay, this shade right here, it has a beautiful pink shimmer. However, it's coming off like just like a glitter, which, don't get me wrong, like I feel like it looks really, really beautiful, but I thought it would have a little bit more color to it, you know what I'm saying? It's just, it's kind of looking like a topper right now, but let me try to layer it a little bit more. Okay, I got some to come out on the brush. It's weird because like it's like a cream texture, like these two shades specifically are. I feel like they swatch so nice on my hand, but like I don't know, it's super beautiful. Like they are super reflective, as you can see, but it's a little bit more of a topper to me, and I was expecting a little bit more of a pigmented base. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't get me wrong, I absolutely love the shimmer. I just wish that I would have went down with like, I don't know, maybe kind of like another eyeshadow that had a little bit of like a frostiness to it, and then put this on top as like a like glittery topper. Do you know what I mean? I feel like this is super, super beautiful, but just not what I was expecting. I just feel like it looks, I don't know, it just kind of looks like loose glitter everywhere, which I don't know. I'm gonna keep on trying to build it up. I just hope that I don't get it too chunky, you know what I'm saying? Like the glitter on top of this looks absolutely beautiful, but like I said, it's just looking like a topper, and I was expecting more of a pigmented base. But let me just go ahead and try to layer it a little bit more. Okay, so I don't know how I feel about these shimmers like by themselves. Like they're super, super shimmery. Don't get me wrong. I feel like they are really, really beautiful, but I would like to use them as a topper. Like I tried to build it a little bit more, but then it did get a little bit like chunky in some certain sections. So I'm just going to leave it right there. I'm going to go ahead and do my other eye and the rest of my makeup off of camera, and then we'll come back and then finish the lower lash line. And I'll give you guys my final review of this palette. All right, y'all. So I got the rest of my face done. Just in case you guys are curious what I have on the rest of my face, I am wearing a P. Louise lipstick in the shade called Heights with the brown lip liner from NYX. That's literally just the name, called brown. Y'all, that lip liner actually is really bomb, and it was only $4, and also was having like buy two get one free type of thing. For my foundation, I'm wearing the Airbrush Flawless Finish from Charlotte Tilbury. On my blush, sorry I didn't bring it with me, but I'm wearing the Hindash Monochromance, the pink shade in the palette. Y'all, that has recently been like my favorite blush. Like I don't know, I just feel like it's so natural and so beautiful. I absolutely love it. And then in my waterline, I'm wearing the Honey, what is this called? Honey Dude Nude Lip Liner. This was only $7. Actually, it's my friend's, but I got one too. I just don't know where it's at, but thank you, Rosa, for letting me borrow yours. Anyways, y'all, so we're gonna go ahead and complete the lower lash line. What I'm gonna do, I was like really going back and forth. I actually started to do it. I was going back and forth with like doing a full halo look, which I would do darker in the outer and inner corner, and then a shimmer in the center. But then I was like, you know what? Let me not. I just feel like, what for? You know what I'm saying? So I'm just going to go ahead and smoke it out. I'm going to be taking this dark shade right here on this little tiny pencil brush. This is from Makeup Institute Los Angeles. This is the PG21. I really recommend a tiny, tiny little brush like this for your lower lash line. I just feel like it's very easy. You know what I'm saying? So basically what I'm going to do is hug this right up against that waterline and then just smoke it out. Then I'm going to be blending that out with this shade right here, this one. This shade honestly is probably like my favorite in the whole entire palette. I just feel like it's super beautiful as a transition, but then y'all, it builds up like big time depending upon how much you want, you know what I'm saying? I just feel like it is so pretty. It blends out super easily, and then on top of that too, if you want to pack it on like a lid shade, I feel like it could be packed on really, really good. It's super pigmented. All right, and now for my tear duct, I'm gonna go ahead and mix both of these shimmer shades right here. I actually just did this. Oh, almost knocked over my brushes. I just did this off camera. And honestly, I want to say I feel like with a smaller little brush, I feel like it's better than a bigger brush, because earlier, y'all, I'm like, oh, okay, I got a little bit too much there. Earlier, when I was using my bigger flat brush, I just felt like it was not picking up any type of shimmer whatsoever. But then with this little one, I feel like it's picking up a lot. I feel like with the shimmers, you just kind of have to be a little bit careful though, because I don't know, I feel like it kind of like chunks up a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And then just kind of falls all over the place. I feel like it's a beautiful formula. I don't know. I still am leaning towards like it being kind of like a topper. I don't know if I necessarily like it by itself. All right, y'all, so this is the final look right here. I'm like thrown off a little bit because I'm so used to seeing myself in a winged out look or a cut crease look, you know what I'm saying? However, this look is still beautiful nonetheless. I just am not used to seeing myself in a halo eye anymore. Like, y'all, I feel like I played halo eyes out like 5-6 years ago. It's like all I used to do because it's just so quick and so easy, and I'm so used to cut creases now. But let's go ahead and get on to my final thoughts and opinions about the Patrick Ta Major 2 Dimension palette. Okay, I feel like this is gonna be so difficult for me to explain, okay, because I really do like the shimmers, but at the same time too, I don't like them. And let me explain why. What I mean by that is I feel like these types of shimmers would be super beautiful on top of another frosty eyeshadow. Say for example, if you have like a pink eyeshadow that has like a little bit of frost to it, and then you were to take one of these eyeshadows and put it on top, it's going to make it look shimmery, you know what I'm saying? I feel like these are beautiful toppers. I did use 3 within today's look, and I feel like all 3 of these right here are super beautiful. They have a very high shine, you guys can see. It does give that type of like wet look, and I really do like it, but by itself, I don't know, I found them to be a little bit like difficult to work with. Like, I had to pack it on, and y'all, let me just say this right now, look at my finger compared to my eyelid. Like, it's really, really big, you know what I'm saying? So I really do prefer to use a shimmer with a brush. I feel like with Pat McGrath shimmers, I could use it with a brush or I could use it with the finger, and I feel like it still gives a lot of pigment and shimmer, as to where these, I just feel like they're giving shimmer, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I'm like, I really do like them. Like, I feel like it's a super beautiful shimmer, especially like in my inner tear duct. You guys can see it literally looks wet, which I like, but I feel like you have to use a tiny, tiny little brush and then pack it on, but then it crumbles off and I got fallout all over the place, you know what I'm saying? So I definitely will be using these again, but on top of a frosty shadow. I feel like these will look beautiful on top of like a Juvia's Place frosty shadow, you know what I'm saying? Because I feel like Juvia's Places are like really, really frosty, but not really shimmery, if you guys get what I'm saying. Anyways, let's go ahead and talk about the mattes. I feel like the mattes are super beautiful. Like, these types of mattes right here, I absolutely love. I feel like you can use them very sheer, but then you could build them up super full coverage, which I like. And the shades in them were absolutely beautiful. At first, I thought the shade was going to be a little bit too light. However, as you guys can see, it's blended out and it's like super, super beautiful. I love the mattes on these. Honestly, y'all, if I were to compare them to Hindash, are they as good as Hindash? No. I feel like those are just, oh my god, they're so absolutely amazing and so beautiful. Also, let's go ahead and talk about the cream bases right here. I do feel like for them being inside of an eyeshadow palette, they worked really well. In my experience of working with cream bases inside of an eyeshadow palette before, I haven't had the best experience. I feel like either they like dry way too fast or they'll crease, and I haven't experienced that with these, and I feel like it's really, really beautiful. Overall, do I feel like this palette is worth $68? I would buy this type of palette again, but if I were to get 20% off, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't pay $68 for it, only because I do feel like I was a little bit let down by the shimmers because everyone loves them so much, and I was expecting a little bit more. However, I'm the type of person that likes a shimmer that has pigmentation underneath it, you know what I'm saying? As to where these, I feel like they're beautiful as a topper, not by themselves. I found them to be a little bit difficult to work with, and I had to like pack it on, you know what I'm saying? Do not get me wrong, the final look I do feel like is beautiful. I feel like the shimmer is super bomb. Like, you guys can see how reflective that looks, and I like it. However, it was difficult, and I did have quite a lot of fallout because it started to ball up, because it does have that creamy texture, so the more you put on top, it kind of like balled up, you know what I'm saying? Anyways, overall, if I had to rate this palette on a scale from like 1 to 10, I would give it an 8, which is still a really, really good rating. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like, y'all, in my mind, can you guys imagine if Hindash and Pat McGrath made a palette together? Like, Hindash's matte, like Pat McGrath shimmers them in one is like my ideal formulas. You know what I'm saying? I just feel like they are so amazing. So the bar is set really, really high. But do not get me wrong though, the mattes in this palette were absolutely beautiful. I feel like they blended out so easy. They are so pigmented. I don't know. I wish there was more pigmentation underneath the shimmer, and then I feel like I would really, really, really like this palette. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, if you guys have this, make sure you guys give me tips on how to use the shimmers because they are a little bit more creamy. I know so many people are going to say to use your finger, but obviously that is super difficult with somebody that has fat fingers and small eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like, I do feel like with the smaller Lunar Beauty brush, which I just lost it right now, but it's a super tiny one, kind of like this. I do feel like the shimmer did pop up more in the inner tear duct. However, y'all, can you imagine that on the lid? That's a whole lot of work. You know what I'm saying? If you guys have this palette, make sure you guys let me know how you like it. Make sure you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace out, Girl Scout.